when I was videotaping my experience of the rainbow when it was coming across the river, I have all sorts of things going through me. I couldn't comprehend what was going on. I was surprised, I was wondered, I was shocked. But all I know, it was something that was wonderful that was happening to me at that time. Then, after it stopped, I sat down and I thought for a second, who would have sent me this great power? Because I felt I was given the power of the world, that I could do almost anything. Let me rephrase that. I thought I was given the power of the universe, that I was sent something so special, so powerful, I could do anything with it. Because I think that's what the message was, that I was supposed to do things that I wanted to do when I was young. I wanted to be a hero. I wanted to be appreciated. And this is my story. Hello, Marlo. Today, we're going to be talking about my 3.5-year journey since the first rainbow showed up, and why I keep doing what I'm doing and what we're trying to get accomplished. So with this, it comes with you with a lot of love, and I hope you enjoy it, honey. Well, granddaughter, now I'm going to tell you how a rainbow changed my life. You know, your grandpa was standing out in this lanai in my condo unit, and I looked out and I saw the most beautiful rainbow in my whole life, 4 miles wide, 2 miles away from me. So I sent a 45-second video to my daughters and tell them this is the most beautiful rainbow I have ever seen. I turn my camera back on, I say, I swear this rainbow is coming at me. I swear that rainbow is right in front of me. Just as we're talking, it seems like it's coming closer to me. It actually is coming closer. This is really wild. Look at it. It's right in front of me. The bird is flying right through it. Unbelievable. I can't look at the rainbow. I'm going to take a whole shot of it again. Look at this. I'm seeing a second rainbow. A second one next to it. I think you can see it. Honest to God, I can't even comprehend it. This is crazy. This is really crazy. I'm glad I'm making this video. Nobody would ever believe me. Nobody would ever believe this. And this came in right in my whole building complex. It just did the park in my building. That was it. Wow. Oh, unbelievable. And came within 200 feet of me. And the video was for 11 minutes. I taped this rainbow and it stayed there. Then the other end came across the river and then hit the other buoy right here. It was incredible. And as it got closer and closer and closer, I got more and more unbelievable feelings. I couldn't even comprehend them. For 11 minutes, I went through the most spiritual, uplifting experience that anybody could have. I was living in a miracle that I couldn't even comprehend. I was living in a different reality. It wasn't even the same reality when I experienced when it was happening. It was unbelievable. That rainbow put me on a new course in my life and wiped out a lot of bad stuff in my life and gave me the courage to go ahead and do things that I wanted to do when I was young. What happened after that, the experience, I went and sat down and I couldn't believe what happened to me. I felt like I got some sort of message, power at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. And I felt it was like I could almost do anything with this. And I asked myself, who would have sent me this? Because I never thought I deserved too much in my life. And I thought of my grandmother, because she was the only kind person in my life that I remember. I'm sure there was others. Between the ages of 7 and 10, I spent the summers with my grandmother, and we had a special relationship. Her name was Mame Dimmer, and she's quite a woman. She was the kindest woman I ever have known. At least she was the most kindest woman I've ever had in my life. She understood me, and she helped me, and she was my friend. Well, during those summers, she would tell me stories about Rainbowland. And it was a magical place where I could be a hero, because I really didn't like the world. When I was young, I was bullied quite a bit. And I ended up just sort of hiding and being in the shadows and making sure that nobody really saw me too much. I had a lot of handicaps, and I couldn't speak very well, and I had a club foot, and I really didn't know how to communicate with people. So I went to Rainbowland to escape, because that was the only place I was happy. I would fight wars, I would solve problems, I would be a hero. And now maybe I can be a hero in this world, and maybe bring Rainbowland to this world a little bit more. After that experience, I couldn't believe it happened. I called your mother, and I sent the video, what I experienced, to your mother and my two daughters. And I even said, don't share it to anybody, because I thought it was so important what happened, I didn't want them to share it. And I had to think about what I was going to do. You know, to be honest with you, honey, I didn't really believe what happened to me, that I sent the video to a person I was working with. What I did is I sent it to a guy named Chuck. He worked for me when I had my company. And I said, Chuck, do you see the rainbow? Because I don't know if I would be the only one to see it. And he said, yes, he could see it. So then I felt a lot better. I guess that's the only way to say it. And I kept watching for days after. Is it real? What happened to me? Was it real? Real? I didn't know. And I was real confused. I was going through like a transformation of some sort of transformation. Everything was going through me in different ways. I don't know how to explain it. I guess the best way to explain it, it was an experience that everybody should have happen. Did you hear that thunder? That's interesting. Honey, thunderhead, I was saying that. I guess we got a storm here coming. Well, anyhow, because that experience is so wonderful and so uplifting that if everybody had that, it would be an amazing world. So I started searching the internet. Now, how I did it, I've never searched the internet in my whole life. I don't know how to read or write very well. And so all I knew was to ask Siri about rainbow prophecies, rainbow this, rainbow things. I didn't know what happened to me was real or a dream or anything else. It was like I was in a different reality in some ways. And it was like that for quite a days after. It was really strange, but it was uplifting. I went through all sorts of emotional turmoil and reflecting on so many things. It was like somebody entered me during that rainbow experience and went inside of me and pushing all sorts of bullshit out. That's about the only way I can explain it. I went through a transformation of some sort. And I didn't even believe in anything in my whole darn life, honey. I mean, I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in anything. I just thought the Bible was made up to control people, And because, you go back in history, they used the Bible to really punish people in a lot of ways. They had a lot of power, and I didn't like that. So I was done with that darn religion stuff. That's why maybe this hit me a lot harder than normal, because I didn't have any idea of this. I never believed in God or Jesus Christ or anything like that, because I was even raised Catholic. I thought it was just sort of like a con game in some ways, because all I remember is they made you sit in church for an hour, and I didn't want to be there, and then they kept asking for money. I don't know. And that's how I looked at it. So this happens. Well, maybe there is something a little different out there. I had to search. I had to figure it out. So I started on a journey. I started on a journey that I couldn't even comprehend. It was quite a journey. I've always
taken things farther than most people and tried to make us succeed, because when I was young, I felt that I was very inadequate. And so to prove my abilities that I'm okay, I've always strived to get everything done perfectly and the best I can do, because it reflects on me, and that's how I make myself feel better, is achieving things other people can't.
After searching the internet, trying to figure out what happened to me, by asking Siri, having Siri talk to me about rainbow prophecies, rainbow this, what does this mean? Why would rainbows, and trying to study them. And so I asked all this type of things, that's what I was going through. And all of a sudden I ran across somebody that had a wild rainbow experience. And I watched his video. I says, that guy had a similar experience I did.
Oh my God! Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Oh my God. What does this mean?
And I want to go see him and talk to him about my experience. So I did. That guy was a double rainbow guy. So I talked to him on the phone. I sent him a letter of some sort, maybe tell him or email, and I'd like to meet him. He said, come out, and I flew out there.
So God sent a rainbow to Bill so that we could do things together.
I think that the rainbow came to you in that unit for a reason, Bill. The rainbow wants me there. I have to believe that's true because everything points to that. I love you, Bill. I love you. You're awesome. Cool guy, my new friend, Bill.
You know, I've been trying to put this together, the rainbow movement, and trying to make it work for the last 3.5 years. But where has it gone? Well, you know, we spent a lot of money and it doesn't seem like we make much progress. Why do I keep going? I believe in what we're doing, and what happened to me was real. And so I have to trust all the experiences I've had since on this journey. They added up that I'm supposed to continue going. If all these little things didn't happen to me, these miracle experiences, I wouldn't have done what I've done.
And I met a newfound friend, Lana. Now, I have to tell you a little bit about Lana. She's very important in my life, really a deep friend, and a very deep supporter, and I trust her dramatically in many ways. So all I got to say is that you should go talk to her about me someday, if you can. I would like that. And she'll tell you about your rascal grandpa. I would like that. I really like to have you know me every which way. And she'll tell you all my little quirks, where I'm trying to tell you everything else in my life right now. So I want you to know everything about me as much as you can. Now, I wanted to say one thing about Lana. I met her just right after the rainbow happened. So maybe the Rainbow Center. I think so.
Bill had always been the type of person to be very, work-related, work-oriented, spent a lot of time on the road. Work was his primary goal, was to make as much money as possible, take care of his family. And so after his rainbow experience, it kind of opened up his mind and his heart to wanting to help people. You know, Bill's in his 70s, and this is a whole new adventure for him. And to start something this big, this late in life, just shows you that it's never too late to do things and to make things happen and to get involved in what's going on. Bill will never give up on the rainbow movement or, you know, his dreams of helping the world.
I'm leaving out to see Bear first time. Here I'm leaving on Saturday, flying to Minneapolis, and a friend of mine, Dennis, and a colleague and business person, etc., friend, adventurer. We all are sort of that way. He lives out in California, I live in Florida. was so important to me about all this, I took Dennis Paul out there. I called him up and said, would you come with me on this journey of what happened to me? He said, yes, thank God. I couldn't do everything I wanted to, so I hired other people to do things I couldn't, like Dennis Paul, because he had much more abilities than I did in certain areas. How did I meet Dennis? Well, I was trying to start a business, and I put an ad in the paper for a person to help me write an economic newsletter. And because your grandpa here couldn't really read or spell, he had to find somebody with more talent than him. And I found Dennis Paul.
I actually saw an ad in the newspaper for somebody that would be able to write an economic investment newsletter. I'd never looked at want ads. That's probably the only time in my whole life, and I don't know why I did it. And I saw this ad, and I thought that sounds like fun.
And he is a very talented individual. He's the one who's helped me on my whole life journey. I've known him for 40 years, and he's guided me. And he's guided me with so much wisdom to get me where I am today. He's really a special person. He's helped us a lot. And Dennis, I trust him. Now, I want you to understand, I've known Dennis for 40 years, and he made our family one hell of a lot of money. With his thinking and his abilities to help me. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have made the money. And we wouldn't be on the journey that we are today. He's a very important person to this family. So your crazy grandpa gets Dennis Paul, calls him and says, Dennis, I want you to do something for me. I want to fly out to California. I have these things happen to me that I just don't know what's going on. So we get on a plane, and we get there, and we rent a Suburban. Now we fly into San Francisco, and we have to drive to Miller Post. So that's about a 3 or 4 hour drive, if I recall. And so I get this Suburban, and we take it out there. We're going out there, so we don't know what to expect. We just, he gives us an address. Here's our first experience. All of a sudden we go through these roads, and then we end up in this like sort of dirt road. There was these address signs you couldn't see. And it was like this dirt road. It was up the steep hill because it was a mountaineer's terrain. He lives in the mountains near Yosemite. So it was a beautiful area, honey. You have to go out there and see it sometime. I'd like to take you out there, actually. Actually, you should go out to where his rainbow experience. I would like to take you there. Oh, he was quite a guy. Dennis and me finally figured out how to go up this road. We found the road. Well, this road is really steep. I'm glad I had a four-wheel drive. We would probably not have made it. That's the way I felt. If the guy didn't have the reputation of the double rainbow guy, I would have never went up that road because it looked like really a place where you could expect anything. So we got up this steep road, and we go look up, and we get up there, and there's this cars laying around and all sort of debris from farm machines a little bit, and this trailer. And it was like a small little farm. And Dennis and me were, we actually were a little scared. Dennis was more scared than I was, but he was pretty scared. And because he didn't know what to expect. He thought maybe, he didn't know. And I'll tell you, when I went up this road, Dennis and me looked at each other, and Dennis was pretty scared. And I wasn't too worried because he had a lot of notoriety, but Dennis was talking about maybe the guy just gets people up here and deals with them and never see him again. So he was talking like that, actually. It was sort of funny. But it worked out okay. So I met him, and we talked, and we sort of went out to dinner, and we didn't really talk into the meat and guts of everything that we were going to get into. I just was sort of a get-together. Now, I was out there for 4 days. So the first day we did that, and then he took us around the park, and all he did was, we didn't really talk about my rainbow experience. He just showed me his whole world, Yosemite Park, and his life, and what he loves. And he was videotaping the trees and everything that we did because he didn't get around very well. He was having trouble walking a lot. The vehicle helped us get around, and we could do more things. Well, anyhow, we walked in various paths in the woods, and various things happened. So for 3 days, we didn't really talk about what happened to me. I don't know why. I just sort of wanted to know the guy, I guess, and we just talked. And And I took my iPad out when I was within the woods with him one time. We walked on the path. I showed the double rainbow guy, or bear, my video. And he said, nothing. I says, what does this mean? He didn't say nothing to me. He didn't give me really that much direction at all. He's a nice guy, had a good vacation, and it was a wasted trip. Hey, a crazy fool goes out and talks to this guy on a mountain like a guru, and he does this. I says, hey, this is really stupid. I mean, who would do this? Nobody hardly. I says, let's go back, Dennis. I says, we go back. I take him. He stays there for a couple of days. He wanted to stay in San Francisco and have some fun with his wife. Well, I fly back. I get on the red-eye flight, so I sleep in the plane for a long time. Your grandpa lands in Fort Myers, and I was depressed. I mean, I flew out there, and it was sort of like I had this experience. It was real, what happened to me. I know it was real, and I wondered for a long time if it was real. And so I got back, and I said, maybe this was sort of like a mistake. Maybe I'm not supposed to, do anything with this or whatever. So I get back that day. That afternoon, the second one, Rainbow, showed up. Oh, wow. I couldn't believe it. And this one, honey, was closer than the first one. The first one was 200 feet. And the second one was 160 feet. Wow. So I did something sort of strange. I called up the double rainbow guy, invited him to come down. I told him a little bit what happened. I called Dennis Paul, and I called a bunch of people, 8 people, and told them I wanted them to come down and talk to me because what happened and the second rainbow. So I fly 8 people down. After that rainbow experience, the second rainbow, I didn't know what to do. I had to think, and so I had to bring a bunch of people around me that I could trust. So Dennis Paul, he brought his wife down, and I called a few others. And I also brought down the double rainbow guy. I asked him to come down and sit with us.
Well, because of my handicaps, I always had to search out other people to help me to achieve things. And that's one of my successful stories, is finding people that could help me. Dennis Paul has one of the people that has changed my life. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. So there's a number of people in my life that have helped me achieve things. And if you don't have those people to help you, you can't go anywhere in life. At least that's what I found. So I needed help. I didn't like asking for help. I never did, because I always wanted to stand by my own 2 feet. So it was a little bit hard for me to ask for help. But once I started doing it, I felt that was the only way I could achieve what I wanted to do, because I needed help to get it done. So that's what I did.
Bill is an inspiration to people. He shows you what you can accomplish if you put your mind to it, and that even if you have handicaps, especially for people that do have things that are holding them back, Bill is a prime example of what diligence and hard work can do. So he brought in friends and employees from his past.
First thing I talk about when I get them all in a group for the first day they're here, I said, I don't know exactly why I flew you all down here. Don't know exactly what to do because of the experience I had. And we went around and introduced everybody and talked a little bit about themselves.
We were all really excited about the potential of where this could go. I don't think anybody really knew what we were going to be doing necessarily, but we just knew that it was going to be something exciting.
Something happened that was unbelievable. Now I have to understand, honey, I got 2 condo units. I have this one and the one next door. And I was with 4 people in the bedroom in one area, and there was people next door. And this is sort of, I'll give you the short story. I was telling Dennis about that, and I was telling him that I think I'm supposed to swim through the rainbow, and as soon as that last word come out, rainbow, this was happening. All of a sudden, the door slams. At the same time, a thermostat flies across, hits the other side of the wall. Doors open, and next door, a 6-foot statue falls over that stood up during a hurricane.
Everything happened really quickly. We had a bunch of people around in all different directions who were getting ready to have a meeting. And I just remember a really loud bang, and I felt a big rush of energy.
Wow, bang, right through the whole place.
I was just trying to take a shower before a meeting, and then all heck broke loose. The doors fly open. Thermostats are flying off the wall. Light plate switches are flying off the wall. I didn't have a clue what was going on, and neither did anyone else.
And we could literally feel the energy moving, and you know, just the ground felt like it was vibrating. And so I went to look outside to see if there was an explosion, and there wasn't anything that I could tell. And then I came here and I noticed that this leopard actually had been toppled over, and that a lot of the trees had also fallen over. And the curious thing here is the leopard might be about 60, 70 pounds. The trees, there are some cement blocks holding them together, but with all of those falling, it shouldn't be able to make such a loud noise and to shake the building like it did.
Now Debbie, but she's into the spirit world. I didn't know that when I brought her down. That was sort of strange. I brought her down. I never was involved in that. I never even cared about that stuff. But she said, it was a spirit that went through here. Wow. Well, I mean, I couldn't explain it. Happening in both condo units. People were next door. The double rainbow guy was next door where the 6-foot statue fell down. And Debbie. Ken happened to be standing outside. It just happened to be everybody is spread out. It was incredible. That got my attention, something like that. I couldn't even comprehend. Your grandpa's not too stupid. And I went ahead and I tried to figure out what could have happened. And I couldn't. So the day they get down here, this happens, all these witnesses. It was incredible. Well, I said to myself, well, I'm supposed to tie up, and the double rainbow guy is here, and all these people, and we're supposed to be working and do something together. And I didn't know what in the hell it was going to be. A lot of things happen next. It's been a long journey. A lot of things happen. Wow. So where do we go from there? And we thought maybe trying to do park events or working with different charities, and we did something called the Bargain Bill Show going around, trying to figure out what to do. Now, your grandpa's never done anything like this. I've always been straightforward, hardcore guy that just wanted to make money. And I made a lot of money.
And I've worked with your grandfather for 40 years. We worked on 2 different businesses together, and now we are involved on a new journey that he is taking very seriously. And it's different. The other 2 businesses that he did and ran were focused on making money. This time he's hoping to make the world better.
So we did park events where we sponsored and gave out Easter egg here in Cape Coral, the park right next door, just figuring out what was going to happen. And when I went to the park event, we had a rainbow, and we passed out things, and we were having a rock coloring contest, giving out prizes with silver dollars and the eggs. And I don't know, I was trying to be a nice guy. I didn't know what else to do. I really didn't have any direction, and that's why I did. And I was trying, and I talked to a lot of people there. I asked them, I had this experience of the rainbow, and I was asking people, telling my story, and I asked them, how do I use this in the best possible way? Now, here you got a crazy old guy out there, 70 years old at that time, I guess, or 69. He's telling you this crazy story, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. Oh, now, imagine if somebody like that came up to me. I'm sure that's a lot of people think about me, honey. But I needed to talk to him, and we tried to explain, and we had a lot of people. We didn't know exactly what to do. And we started just sort of stumbling around trying to do good and trying to figure out how to do good. Trying to help individual people. I did that for a while, and it really didn't work at all. I got so disappointed for various reasons. So then I started thinking, you know, maybe I should shoot my sights higher in doing things. And so I started searching about how you could help a lot of people at once. Well, that would be helping organizations that deal with people to help people. So we did these park events, and we stumbled around, and I sort of was going to give up on what I was doing. And I got discouraged after a year, and I put a lot of effort in. I spent a lot of money. I mean, a lot of honey, a lot, trying to figure out the puzzle. Because that's what I felt sometimes, but something kept pushing me. with another event, another rainbow. I told everybody, let's go on vacation. I was thinking about closing it up for a while. I told them take off the summer, and I had to decide during the summer, if I continued, I might jeopardize my way of life of all the money I made, because I was spending quite a bit of money. And maybe I should not do this, and maybe this is sort of crazy. And your mother and my other daughters, didn't want me to do any of this. They didn't want anything to do with this, honey. That's the truth. They think I'm probably crazy as hell. And we haven't had anything too much to do anymore, talk much. And that's sort of one of the reasons why I'm making these videos, to give you my side of my life here, for you to understand. And this is quite a journey, and I guess I wouldn't be making these unless the rainbow came, to be honest with you. The third rainbow came. I said, I want you to understand, your grandpa's crazy enough to go ahead and put cameras in to fix rainbows. The first two I captured with just a camera. Well, this one, I put in these camera system. Well, this one I caught unbelievable pictures of. And this rainbow, Lana was here and 5 other people, and it came within 10 feet of me. I couldn't believe it. Another sign. I guess that's what I say. Some of these look like signs to me that I'm supposed to do this. This one we captured in the middle of the river, forming in the middle of the river, turning into a double rainbow and coming in within 10 feet of the camera. I don't know if anybody else ever captured something so wonderful. Could be the most beautiful rainbow in the world. At least to me, it was the most beautiful rainbow in the world because I witnessed it. So then I decided, okay, this time I told everybody, they would tell you, I said, my term was, let's pull the trigger, let's keep going. Let's do everything. Whatever was on our drawing pad, let's keep hitting it. I decided to go for national health insurance. We worked on that for 1.5 years because that seemed like it would help a lot of people. Now, national health insurance was designed to help a lot of people. Dennis and me put something together that basically doesn't cost the government anything, and it really solves a lot of problems. And it's like really complicated if you start talking about it. So it's just a good deal. Let's put it that way. And they make it simple. It's just a better insurance company for the American people, and it's backed by the government.
Our solution to America's healthcare crisis doesn't cost trillions of dollars, is better than what you had, better than what you have, and is better than what the current market is offering.
It won't cost the government anything, it won't raise taxes, and it'll help economic growth. It is a win-win for everybody, and I hope other people will know how good it is. We started thinking about running for office because of our national health care to push it through. We thought running for office might be something that you could do just to get publicity to do it, and we ended up that was sort of a mistake.
Well, we did something called the Bargain Bill Show in the early days of my journey. And the Bargain Bill Show was just a show to show people how to save money and buy things at reasonable prices through thrift stores and consignment places and auctions. Well, that was the intent of it, and that was the focus on it. But as time went on, I started talking to people at the thrift stores, and people are recovering from various issues in their lives. And many of them were very appreciative of the help they've gotten. So that's when I started learning more about helping people on a different kind of level.
So as we're going around the thrift stores, I started meeting people and talking to them because I started getting familiar because I would go there quite often, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week, because we were looking for items for the Bargain Bill Show. And so I started learning a little bit more each one, that they gave me their little personal stories on some of them, and how they're very happy with what they did in their lives. They started talking about how grateful they were for the organization because they're helping them change their life. So I thought maybe that was what we're supposed to do. So we went out to some charity benefits and donated some money and talked to them, but I just didn't want to feel like I should donate money because that wouldn't do too much good as far as I was concerned. One of the other things that came up is the 1% solution. Now, how that developed, a long time ago, your grandpa did something a little interesting. It was right before Obama took office. I put in a number of newspapers throughout the country a plan for us to plan like the 1% solution. At that time, we were going into a crisis of the housing market. And the only thing that would save it, because everybody was losing their homes, was the government to refinance everybody's mortgages at a lower rate and get them into a lower payment, and they would hold on to their houses. And it would have worked. That's the gist of it. And basically, 1% solution is the same way today. Basically, the government buys all the mortgages. They give the American people a 1% mortgage rate. That's a win for the American people. And the good part about that, all the money that they take out of the housing market, mortgages, all that money, they pay it off, has to chase other things. And that'll spur the economy too.
The increased spending from the increase in disposable income is a solution to the short-term crisis. Long-term, the 1% solution does even more. It creates wealth through equity. A 1% mortgage rate lets more families move from renting to owning, giving more families an opportunity to accumulate wealth for retirement or for their children's education. A homeowner accumulates equity in a home as the principal is paid off year to year, and also as the value of the property increases. Mortgage payments end when the mortgage is paid off. Rent payments never end. When mortgage payments end, the homeowner has even more disposable income and also equity in the home. Renters do not have that accumulated wealth. And because rents are virtually guaranteed to increase over time, the difference between a homeowner and a renter in retirement is massive. That's why we need more people to be owners, not renters, if we want to increase incomes, profits, and economic growth over time.
We think that's the greatest thing to solve so many problems in this country in many ways, more ways than you can imagine. You just have to take a look at it, and I hope it works. I put a lot of time into trying to put it together with Dennis, and Dennis did one heck of a job making this probably one of the best plans that anybody can put together to help the American people right now in this time. I really believe that. But the Miracle Film Festival, let's talk about that. Well, you know, your grandpa was in the park talking to people about their miracle experiences and my miracle experiences. I never knew what a miracle experience was until it happened to me. I didn't know how people would take it. And then a few people started sharing me their miracle experiences. They said they were always scared to tell people about their miracle experience. And so I started realizing there's other people with miracle experiences. So we got together with Justin, and this young lad is amazing. And I'll tell you the truth, honey, it'd be hard to go without him. He has been wonderful, and he's probably brought us more faster and better than anybody else could have done. And you should talk to him about your grandpa too. He'll tell you the truth. I think so, at least. So we got together with Justin and created a film festival called the Miracle Film Festival. Now we'll take all sorts of films, but it is really designed for people's miracles. And one other important thing, to help nonprofits throughout the country, that they can submit their videos to us and show us what they're doing, and people can judge for themselves and check them out if they want to. The organization, go out and visit them, take a look at what work they're doing, and if they want to support them, then support them. One of our most important Rainbow projects is globalconscience.world. What we're doing is we're trying to do a worldwide effort to solve problems in the world, and that is global warming. This is designed for the people of the world to get involved, to put pressure on people that are doing bad, and to support people that are doing good. The governments and corporations need a little push. They haven't been making a lot of progress, they've been making some, but the only way we're going to really make progress is the people of the world to join together to put pressure on them. Well, an idea that we came up with was brand ambassadors. Now, why are they important? Well, because they're going to tell everybody our story and get more people to join our organization. Music is a universal language. It breaks down barriers of language and culture. That's why we're doing a music video promotion to spread the word, to solve the problem of global warming. That's the only way that we can make this happen, is working together. Our goal for Global Conscience is pretty simple. We just want to have a better world. Originally, we started out with rainbow projects. And these were projects that we would go, like a project was National Health Insurance. One of our other projects is 1% Solution. We call that a rainbow project. We didn't know how to call the organization. We thought of all these different names, And so we decided to call it the Rainbow Movement. Really a lot of work and a lot of problems, and a lot of times you want to give up. I kept going because of that rainbow and other things that were happening. Like a license plate that had a rainbow on it. Let me tell you a little bit about that story since I brought it up. During that period of time, your grandpa he thought, well, it'd be nice to have the rainbow plate. Something popped in my head. Rainbow plate. I said, that would be nice to get that. So I asked somebody, I know it probably wouldn't be available. I asked somebody to check on the internet. He says it's not available. Okay. Well, about a month later, I was with somebody else that was working with me. I asked them to check for me. Could you check and see if this rainbow plate is available from the state of Florida? No, it's not available. And I just thought maybe the first person made a mistake because something just pushed me again. Well, then another month later, I had a brand new person came in. It was her first week, I think. I said, can you check and see if the plate of rainbow is available at the state of Florida? And she says, no. Well, then what your grandpa does, go down and get it. So, because I didn't know how to fill forms out and do all that, I says, come on down, I think I'm supposed to get the license plate, rainbow. She looks at me really strange. So I go down there and to the license plate here in Cape Coral. I want to get the plate rainbow. Now the regular lady that worked there, she wasn't working there. She was out to lunch. So the lady was a supervisor, and she checked the computer and she says, very, nonchalant, it's not available. I says, well, I think I'm supposed to have it. Can you check a little further? And then she checked. I says, well, let me make a call. She comes back about 5 minutes later and says, I have to make another call to Tallahassee. I'll be right back. Well, she comes back 5 minutes later and with a surprised look in her face and says, plate's yours. So that's how I got the rainbow plate. What happened was it was frozen in the system since 2003, I believe, something like that. And until somebody went in and asked for it, you couldn't get it. So that's how I got the rainbow plate. Crazy story, isn't it? That was one of the reasons I keep going. Different things like this happen, honey. Do you follow or not? After the third rainbow, I told the people around me, we can't really expect anything else from rainbows. You had the first rainbow that was 200 feet, the second 160 feet, then 10 feet. Now, how do you improve on that? You can't really, as far as I'm concerned. So I said that we got 3 rainbows, that's all I need. The fourth rainbow. Now, the fourth rainbow was unbelievable. And here it was, honey. It was right in front of us, but it was right in the middle this time. One end of it, not over here. It was right there. I didn't know that at the time because I just saw it rainbow and I says, well, go ahead and sort of do another drawing like this to show me where it was at. So we have Mike who has done these and calculates, and he's done this a couple times and he knows how to do it. So he did all his calculations and used Google and everything else in the world. Lo and behold, this is the trajectory. Now your grandpa been parked his car there every morning with a rainbow plate on it. And before that, he was parking there with a sign, a small, short sign that I had. And I put it in the back of my car. And that's where the spot of one rainbow, and I could honor it. And I've been telling people for 2.5 years about my rainbow experience there. Now, I think everybody in the neighborhood thinks I'm crazy as hell. Let me tell you a time frame, honey, of all these rainbows real quick here. My first rainbow showed up on July 3rd. Now, this is an important date. I didn't know that at the time, but that's the same day, July 3rd, that Bear's video went viral, where he ended up getting 50 million hits on his viral video. So that was another coincidence in this whole puzzle that I'm on and journey. The second rainbow came August 17, 2017. Now that was only roughly about 5 or 6 weeks after. And that was when I went out and saw Bear. The third rainbow came on August 15, 2018. And the fourth one, September 18, 2019. Now, this one was 48 feet from me, and that's the one that hit the park. Well, Rainbow 4, Debbie and Justin were here when this happened, and that sent us into all sorts of different directions. The fourth rainbow was really a heavy-duty sign for me, and that's when we started the Rainbow movement. So I want to say one thing, honey. It is one of the most wonderful things that we can create for everybody. So I hope you'll be proud of your Grandpa. I'm doing it for myself quite a bit, but I'm doing it for you too, to prove to you who your grandpa is. I need a piece of paper to go over things because I have a bad memory and I can't remember very well because it's one of my handicaps. One of the good things with a bad memory, I'll tell you one thing, really hard to lie because you can't remember what you said, so if you want to not look bad, you always have to tell the truth. Everybody should do their work in the way that works the best for them. And I'm trying to do it the way I think is best for me. Because there's hardly anything I don't think we can do can't do, I guess, with this movement. I think we can change the world. I've put my life and soul into this the last 3 years, trying to figure out the puzzle of the rainbow and what we're supposed to do. When I first had the rainbow happen, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And I tried to figure it out for the first year. I went on different paths, different journeys. But now I think we're on the right path. Well, I'm building this with a heart that Marla will take over. I want my granddaughter to be proud of me. The legacy I want to leave you is the Rainbow movement. I want you to take it, pick it up, and make it the best organization in the world to help people. I always said that if with enough time and money you can accomplish anything. You can build a bridge to the moon. And then I had a miracle happen to me, and it sent me a message. And the message was to do good in the world and make change, to be a hero and love other people. I've always been a man of action, and when you have that energy that the rainbow gave me that day, you can create and make anything happen. The rainbow gave me the ability to do things that I never thought I could. I've been blessed by these rainbows. They've come to me and they've showed me a different world and the possibilities, and gave me the abilities to do things that I never thought I could. Because these rainbows inspire me to go beyond myself, beyond everything, to look at the goodness of the world and try to help things and fix it. Because we have a lot of problems right now. And this is a time that we need to bring everybody together. The Rainbow Movement is really a charity to help the world, to give back. I've been fortunate in my life and unfortunate in my life. I could justify a lot of things in my life, but I can't justify not to follow what I've been given through these rainbows. I want to be able to go to my deathbed granddaughter and tell everybody that I did my best I could to make the Rainbow Movement happen and to make change. And I can't even think of how much it means to me that these are sent to me, because I believe that there is somebody else out there looking for me. All my life I've been sort of hiding and afraid, because that's how I was when I was young. I was always afraid and always quiet and always scared. And I went to Rainbowland because that's the place where I could be free and think about things and be happy, because that was the only place I was happy, was Rainbowland. And now I'm in Rainbowland again, and I'm happy. I'm very happy at what I'm doing. Well, granddaughter, when the first rainbow came to me, I asked, who would have sent me this? And it wasn't even immediately. It was my grandmother. Now, I don't know why, but I have to believe that's first instinct, because my grandmother sent me these. And she wants me to do good in the world. And she knows that I need something to my life to make things better, because I've been a pretty naughty boy in many ways, granddaughter. And maybe these rainbows, and I can do a lot of good things that people maybe forgive me for some of the things I've done that I'm not happy about. So this is a way for me to redeem myself. I am so thankful for the opportunity to do this. Because not too many people ever have an opportunity to do this. So I feel very fortunate. My grandmother sent me these rainbows to encourage me to change things with help. And now I'm trying to use that, what was given to me, to make change in the world. And I'm not just doing this for you, granddaughter, or for my grandmother, or for myself. I'm doing it for the people of the world. I want them to know that I'm a good person down deep inside of me.